All right, let's just jump right into it. If you're a creator, there's really one question that matters more than anything else for your success. What is the right time to bet on? We're going to break that down right here, right now.
And look, let's not beat around the bush. Here's the answer right up front. The winning bet? It's not on a viewer's short attention span, and it's definitely not on how many hours you slave away editing. It's all about building a content structure that is designed to survive and even thrive when the algorithm comes back to reevaluate it.
Now, to really get why that's so important, you have to understand the hidden battlefield that most creators are losing on without even knowing it exists. We're talking about the three-way time war.
So here's the core of the problem. You've got viewer time on one side, right? They're focused on maybe the first 30, maybe 90 seconds if you're lucky. But then you have algorithm time, and it's playing a totally different game. It's looking at your stuff again after 48 hours, after 7 days, even 28 days later. These two things are completely out of sync.
And that brings us to the third fighter in this war, your own time. You know, that very limited, precious resource you have every single week? And it just gets absolutely shredded trying to please these two other masters who want completely opposite things from you.
So what happens when you try to fight on all three of these fronts at once? Well, you get trapped in what's called the burnout cycle. And listen, this is not just about feeling a little tired. This is a destructive loop, and it is the #1 reason creators either stall out or just quit altogether.
Let me paint you a picture of how this usually goes down. A creator thinks, I gotta post daily with super intense edits. Suddenly, their production time is way over 40 hours a week. They're exhausted, so naturally the quality of the video starts to dip. Because of that, the first numbers, your click-through rate, your retention, they're just not good. So the algorithm, it never gives the video a second chance. The result is a creator who is completely burnt out with almost nothing to show for all that hard work. It's a classic case of confusing effort with actual value.
So if this burnout cycle is so incredibly common, you gotta wonder, how many creators actually manage to escape it? How many people figure this system out? Well, the numbers, they're pretty mind-blowing.
Let's start with the big picture. Just in the Japanese-speaking world, we're talking about an estimated 4 million YouTubers, a huge number.
Now, out of that massive pool of people, only about 12% even stay active enough to post at least 10 videos a year. Think about that. The vast majority just disappear.
And here it is. This is the statistic that changes everything. Out of all those millions of creators, the tiny fraction that actually understands this time strategy and uses it to build something sustainable, it's estimated to be a measly 0.4%. We're talking about a tiny, tiny elite group. And that scarcity right there is why real, long-term growth can feel like some kind of impossible myth. But it's not a myth, it's not magic, and it is definitely not luck. It is a strategy. So let's get into how you can actually use it.
Okay, enough with the problem. Let's talk about the solution. This is where we get practical with a 3-part game plan that's going to help you stop fighting against time and finally, make it your greatest ally.
First things first, you have to separate your content. Stop making one video try to do 2 different jobs. You're going to make initial reaction videos, short, under 5 minutes, with one single goal: get a click-through rate over 8%. Then you make completely separate reevaluation videos, longer, between 8 and 12 minutes, designed for a killer watch time, over 45%. And you have to post them at least 72 hours apart so you can get clean, reliable data on what's actually working.
Next up, we have to reclaim your time, and that starts by shattering this false idea that more editing hours equals more value. The new rule is simple. You cap your editing at 90 minutes per video, max. Then you batch produce 5 videos using the exact same format. And here's the key. Your job is no longer to judge if one video is a hit, but whether the entire format is a success.
And finally, the third part of the plan: build for the long term. This means every piece of content you make should be an asset that works for you for months, even years. Aim for over 30% of your views to come from search. Use words in your titles that are time-independent, that will still be relevant a year from now. And plan from day one to re-edit and repost your greatest hits every 6 months to give them a brand new life.
So what happens when you actually put all 3 of these methods into practice? Well, your growth stops feeling like you're just pulling a lottery ticket every week and starts looking like a predictable, structured upward climb.
Check out this breakdown of the ideal content mix. You can see the balance. Each month, you're aiming for about 20 of those short-term initial reaction videos to test ideas and grab attention. That's supported by 4 midterm, retention-focused videos and 1 core, long-term asset that's built for search. It's a beautiful, balanced system.
And when you follow this model, you start to see a predictable path forward. It's not a mystery anymore. Within 3 months, you can realistically see your average views triple. By 6 months, you're hitting that huge 1,000 subscriber milestone. And by the 1-year mark, you are on a clear path to hitting 300,000 views every single month.
But you know what? Here is the absolute best part of this entire system. The goal is to get all of that amazing growth while spending less than 15 hours a week on production. It's a model that's built from the ground up for sustainability, treating your time like an investment that compounds, not a resource you just burn through.
So this really all boils down to one final, incredibly powerful idea. You have to make a choice. It is time to choose your battle.
Look, the bottom line is this. You cannot win by fighting on every single front. It's impossible. The people who try to fight every layer of time, the viewer's time, the algorithm's time, and their own time, they will always end up exhausted. The only ones who survive, the only ones who actually thrive, are the ones who strategically choose one layer of time and make it their ally. And that really just leaves us with one final question. It's the question that's going to define your entire journey as a creator from this moment on. So which time frame are you going to make your ally?